So, I was in this blurb number 3, and I didn't even think about this until I was reminded by circumstances. Somebody asked me, what do you do for a living? And typically, when I get this question and I say, I stay at home, I homeschool my children, I'm with my kids, the typical response tends to be, you are so lucky. I wish I could. You are so lucky. And I never say anything, but, you know, the truth is that it's not luck. It was an obedience thing. Um, I had to obey and decide to give up my income in order to just this feeling, this desire to want to be at home, right, with my kids and homeschool them and do all the things that we do, right, at home. And I had to obey. It was obedience because at the time it felt like sacrifice. I had to give up so much, right? Um, and in hindsight, it's now it's kind of like it's so silly that I was trying to hold on to these things. Um, Obeying for me meant that I had to depend on 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 something outside of me, right? My income wasn't going to be what was going to save us and sustain us, and it was hard because I was so arrogant about the money I was making, and I lorded it over my husband, and so many things. And giving all that money up meant that I was choosing to be broke. And that was hard. But as I look now back at all these years of from making that choice, I have seen God's hand in our life. One story, on one occasion, an outside company bought the property we were living on and they decided to increase our rent by 91%. I had just quit my job. We didn't have the money to cover that. And it was like, what? And then finding a new home from that, it was impossible because in California, you need to provide 3 times the income of the property or the home that you're trying to rent in. And we just didn't have that. Mac was working a 9 to 5 and it just didn't have it. And it was like, we're going to be homeless. And in talking and what was happening, somebody said, somebody might have an apartment. And I was like, call and find out, Papa. And it just so happens that this apartment sat empty for months. It sat empty for months. And I can't help but think, why would this apartment be sitting empty for this asset, this money generating, asset would be sitting empty for months. And it's like it was just sitting there waiting for us. On another occasion, we were down to $40 in our pocket. And we found a gift card for $400 that we had forgotten about, a rebate from long ago. The card was expired, but God, just works in the hearts of people. Mac called and they were willing to, they had to talk to the manager and all these things, but they were willing to send us a new card. It's not luck. For me, it was an obedience thing. I had to be willing to give up the money and depend on God and be prayerful, and He has been faithful. He has been faithful. We've never gone without. Never gone without. Always had what we needed when we needed it. It's not luck. That's it for now. God bless.